Innovate is brought to you by
Get in the box with Airtel Yola Maja, where you can Yola up to 2 million shillings daily or up to 20 million shillings in the grand finale. Dial *185# for Airtel Money.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
and
Admissions for Senior 1 to Senior 5 will start as soon as results are out. Tuition per term for Senior 1 is 980,000 shillings and for Senior 5, 990,000 shillings. For any inquiries, call 0775 83 66 64.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still watching Innovate here on Urban TV. Now moving on, there are so many challenges that healthcare providers have to face. Talk of low salaries, poor infrastructure to mention but a few. And now a team of students from Barrow University of Science and Technology with Camtech are taking away one little problem, that is finding veins. They have created the vein locator that will help you locate veins while you go to hospital. For many of you that fear the pricks or have to be pricked many a times just to find one vein, this is quite a great solution for all of you. Check it out.
The idea was born in a children's hospital in Nyamitanga. On a visit there, the clinicians noted vein location as one of the main challenges they face. The students of computer science and medicine quickly put together a proposal and had it tested at Mbara Main Hospital.
Basically, when you had a clinical site visit at Holy Innocents Children's Hospital, a hospital for children found in Nyamitanga, that's Mbara, we realized doctors and clinicians are suffering a problem of vein locating when it comes to children. And so we asked one of the doctors around and were like, do you think there's something you can do to help you out? And so he was like, if we can get a device that would really help us in locating the veins, then that would save lives of so many children.
This innovation was started mid-last year in August, and to date they have a working prototype. If this idea is fully developed, it would take seconds for a medic to find where to perform cannulation. With this, it would be solving the major problem of injecting medicine into skin instead of vein.
Currently, this is our prototype of the vein locator, and basically we're supposed to get a device to help us visualize veins in babies. So this is my colleague and we are trying to power this machine, but the final product is supposed to be an independent prototype which you can be able to place on the skin of the baby and you'll be able to visualize the veins. So for now we can try the demonstration on a lady because we think that their skin and the texture that they have is comparably that to that of a baby, unlike the male whose skin is a little bit more rough, unlike the babies. So what the clinician does is that you will try to locate, using the anatomical knowledge, the location of the vein. So what the device does is that it illuminates and makes the vein more visible and you can actually go in very clearly. So like on this patient, suppose it was a baby, and I apply the device like this, I'm able to see the vein as a clear dark line, so I can pass the cannula. Unlike the traditional ways where the doctor will have to go in blindly, and like this I cannot see anything. So I will either have to prick several times, or in pediatric patients, they can actually opt for the head. But with that, they have to chop the hair for that part of the head, and it takes quite a lot of time for it to grow back. But with this simple technology, I can easily put it on the skin of the baby, and I see a dark line which represents the vein. So I can comfortably insert the cannula in that line.
But what is the future for this innovation in our healthcare systems?
So basically, when we had an IP training, that's intellectual property training, we realized there are very many steps we have to take when you're coming up with a medical device. One of them is acquiring the IRB approval, that is the Institutional Review Board approval, because this is going to work on babies' skin, and of course you're dealing with human, and so you must be having an approval that what you're producing is not actually emitting something harmful to the community.
After an approval from UNBS, this system envisages a health system free of vein location challenges.
When you go to the hospital, for example, I know most people have actually suffered this, you will go and a doctor will just come to you, get the arm, even when he's not seeing anything, because he needs to just pass the medication. he has to cannulate whether he wants it or not. But remember, he's doing a blind cannulation, and this has so many issues. 1, you could damage the nerve. 2, you could actually prick the artery. 3, you could even now give medication into the skin, not into the vein.
The vein locator is on a strip board, but they want it on a circuit board. Moving it to this level would require funding, money to acquire Institutional Review Board approval, and Uganda National Board of Standards certificate, and perform tests on babies to have proof of concept before prototypes can be developed.
1, right now, we needed funding to make sure that we develop our device from where it is to a printed circuit board design. That's number 1. 2, of course, we'd want money that is going to help us in acquiring the Institutional Review Board approval. 3, we'd want to have the funding for the UNBS, that is the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, for standardization of the devices. 4, we would want, of course, to have money for carrying out the clinical trials, because with that device here, we haven't done any testing on the babies. We're only doing tests on ourselves and some of our friends to really find out if we can have that proof of concept.
And for our security tip this week, we are talking Viber, one of the world's most used messaging applications, with about 711 million users worldwide. Today, it has followed the current trends with WhatsApp. It has also announced its end-to-end encryption across all Android devices. Talk of iPads, PCs and Mac desktops. This is how it works.
We can confirm that the Android rollout has already begun. It includes strengthened security in every voice or video call, message, video, photo, in both group messages and one-on-one communication. As part of this update, Viber also launches hidden chats, allowing users to hide specific chats from the main screen so no one but the user knows where they exist. These chats can only be accessed using a 4-digit PIN, providing an optional additional layer of privacy to users' personal communications. Users who are also using Viber on an iPad, Android tablet or desktop will be prompted to reconnect it to their phone using a QR code. Users will see a color-coded lock on the right-hand side of the screen, indicating the level of security. The gray lock. During an end-to-end encrypted conversation and call, users will see a gray padlock icon. Tapping on this icon will display tooltip letting users know the messages sent by the participants are encrypted. And the green lock, users also have the option of manually authenticating their contacts by selecting that they are trusted. This means that the selected contact's authentication key will be monitored for future changes, so users can be certain that they're talking to the right persons at all times. And the red lock, if there is a problem with the authentication key of a previously trusted user, the padlock will turn red. The breach may simply mean that a user has changed their primary phone. And for our hidden chats, users will now also be able to hide specific one-on-one or group conversations from chats so that no one knows they exist and access them using a 4-digit PIN. Users can hide the conversation by tapping on the info screen for a particular chat. This is not bidirectional, meaning if one user hides the conversation, nothing will be changed on the recipient's side. This latest update, along with the delete feature, which allows users to delete messages on the recipient's phone even after they've sent them whether the person has seen it or not, demonstrates Viber's increased focus on putting its users in control of their privacy and personal communications.
That was all we had time for this week, but catch us again next week, of course, as we bring you all the ease in the world of technology. For technology, you know, every single day we have something new. Given that the world is evolving, all we have to do is just cope up with it. Keep following us on Twitter using the hashtag UrbanInnovate and my personal handle @Kembenda. Don't forget to catch the repeat on Wednesday at exactly 3 p.m. Keep watching Urban TV and enjoy the rest of the programming. I've been your host, Benedict.
Innovate was sponsored by...
Get in the box with Airtel Yola Maja, where you can Yola up to 2 million shillings daily or up to 20 million shillings in the grand finale. Dial *185# for Airtel Money.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
And...
Admissions for Senior 1 to Senior 5 will start as soon as results are out. Tuition per term for Senior 1 is 980,000 shillings and for Senior 5, 990,000 shillings. For any inquiries, call 0775 83 6...